everyone, and welcome to The Insider, the ongoing video series that keeps you up to date on everything Independence Pro Wrestling. I am the voice of IPW, J-Rod. IPW High Stakes was headlined by a ladder match and the first big main event of 2025. But the co-feature on the card was Michiana champion Anderson Knight defending his title against Black Excellence member Dior Nolans. Unfortunately, Nolans had to withdraw from the match after tearing his ACL just under 48 hours before the event. The vacancy was immediately filled by Jackson Stone, a call made by the Black Excellence leader, Jamal King, no doubt. And it would be Jamal King who ensured Stone's victory, and after 8 months unbeaten, Anderson Knight will lose the Michiana Championship to Jackson Stone in our opening contest. The next match would see Dante Xavier's brother Derek make his IPW debut against the amazing Zondo. Zondo picked up the win here, but both men were violently attacked by Julius Iscarius after the match. Why? Who the hell knows? In a four-way tag team match, the Midwest Misfits, a debuting Golden Empire, and Jimmy Shalwin and Max Morrison of Three Hearted challenged our tag team champions, the Youpers. With the aid of Brutus Dillon, it looked as though the Misfits were going to take the gold home until Mondo Rio came to even the playing field. Amidst the chaos, the Youpers found a way to come out on top. Dragon Jones finally made Derek Wolf eat his words and guilty as charged, but the bitter Wolf kicked Dragon's ass and ripped his mask off after the match. Wolf demanded a rematch with high stakes. Either Wolf would beat Dragon Jones and Jones would be forced to remove his mask, or Jones would beat Derek Wolf and Wolf would be forced to pay Jones $20,000. This thing got ugly right away as Derek Wolf cracked Dragon Jones with an iPad before the match even began. After failing to put Jones away within the rules, Derek Wolf got out of the ring and pulled a stashed iPad from underneath the ring. While Wolf and the referee were distracted, Jackson Stone slid a piece of the broken iPad from earlier to Dragon Jones. While the referee was busy disposing of the iPad Wolf tried to bring into the ring, Jones bashed Wolf with the iPad Jackson Stone passed him and ditched the evidence before hitting a huge frog splash for the big win, sending Wolf back into retirement. A feel-good moment, but we have to wonder, what the hell is Jackson Stone playing at? The biggest dirtbag move of the new year remains TDG's betrayal of TVA and Guilty as Charged, where TDG joined Black Excellence. Even so, TDG has looked very impressive in 2 outings since, this time against Nate Cobain. We knew this would be a great fight between 2 of the top athletes in IPW, and it definitely was. The end came when TDG nailed Cobain with a pedigree. As TDG was celebrating, TVA snuck into the ring behind him. We thought we were about to see TVA attack TDG just like he did at Rumble. But instead, TVA waited until TDG turned around and tossed him a microphone, saying he just wanted to talk. TVA just wanted to know why TDG did what he did. TDG said he didn't owe any explanation to anyone, and TVA needed to understand that TDG was excellent first and TVA's friend second. TVA then proposed they settle their differences sooner rather than later. TDG accepted the challenge, and on February 16th in Kalamazoo, Michigan at Anarchy, we will see TDG versus TVA in a last man standing match. Black Excellence were celebrating their wins in Jamal's locker room as Dragon Jones came in to thank Jackson Stone for his help. Stone told Dragon to thank LaDon Sanders, as it was LaDon's idea to help Dragon Jones. TDG then asked Jamal King why King chose Stone to fill Dior's spot in the Michiana Championship match. King scolded TDG for his inability to keep Big Jorge from beating Chris Moore at Rumble, which is the reason why King had to defend his title against Jorge in the ladder match. King told TDG that since Chris Moore had to do it on his own, TDG will have to fight TVA in the last man standing match on his own at Anarchy. Before he went out there, Mondo Rio asked Jimmy Shalwin to keep Max Morrison under control during Mondo's match with Brutus Dillon. Shalwin assured Rio that Shalwin and Morrison would stay on the other side of the barricade at their merchandise booth. That wasn't enough though. As Rio was about to pull off the upset over Dillon, Max Morrison picked a fight with the Midwest Misfits. This obviously distracted Rio, who ended up getting powerbombed and pinned by Brutus Dillon. It seemed like Three Hearted was unprovoked. The Misfits were at their merchandise booth selling t-shirts just like Three Hearted was. Max Morrison just couldn't help himself. Mondo Rio was fucking pissed. In the premium match, young up-and-comer Darren Fly took on former IPW champion Chad Alpha. The match was what you'd expect. Chad Alpha taking on one of the stars of the future and eventually getting the win. When doing this with the younger IPW talent, Alpha is doing both his opponent and IPW a big favor. He is giving the young athlete a glimpse into what the competition is like in IPW, and he is giving IPW matchmakers a glimpse of what each new talent is capable of. If a handshake from Alpha is an acknowledgement that Darren Fly is a potential future champion in IPW, then I don't know what is. Our next match was the intimidating presence of Invictus versus an officially returning Marco Modelo. Modelo came back at the Rumble to go after his former tag team partner LaDon Sanders, who Modelo believes has been brainwashed by Black Excellence. Modelo hopes to go to war with Black Excellence, but would first have to take care of Invictus, which he did in impressive fashion. It was finally time for the first big main event championship match of the new year. Big Jorge versus Jamal King in a ladder match for the IPW championship. This thing had a massive build, and there was a real big fight feel. This ladder match rivaled the epic 2024 match of the year when King battled Chad Alpha. These guys beat the hell out of each other all over Falling Warehouse until Jamal King tied Big Jorge up in the ropes, leaving him defenseless. The match was a foregone conclusion, but instead of climbing the ladder to get the belt and end the match, King started picking up everything in sight to smash over Jorge's head. Jorge was a bloody mess, taking headshot after headshot. This became difficult to watch, and even TDG and Jackson Stone came out of the back to try to convince King that Big Jorge had had enough. King's intention was no longer just to win the match, but to end Big Jorge's career. Jackson Stone told King it was over. King had won and pleaded with King to just climb the ladder and end this thing. King ignored Stone and blasted Big Jorge one more time. This pissed Stone off, and he shoved Jamal King, who immediately shoved Stone back. It looked like we might have a Black Excellence civil war right in the middle of the ring over King's bloodlust. If TDG hadn't been able to get between them, cooler heads might not have prevailed. King finally climbed the ladder and retrieved the belt, mercifully putting an end to the match. Have we finally seen the first sign of division in Black Excellence? How will King cope with having his authority challenged? Can anyone stop them? Maybe. After the event's conclusion, Marco Modelo offered his assistance to TVA in fighting Black Excellence should he ever need it. Real Hype found Max Morrison backstage, shit-faced drunk and sulking in his constant failure to get on the right page with his friends. As Black Excellence walked past 3-Hearted, Max Morrison picked a fight with Jamal King. Despite Jimmy Shawwin and Mondo Real trying to ease the tension, Black Excellence didn't appreciate having their card pulled by Morrison. Fortunately, they were able to avoid coming to blows. Perhaps a resistance to Black Excellence is finally beginning to build. When Mondo Real was on his way out of the building, Ominous Ramirez was caught lurking in the shadows with some intel for Mondo Real. A recent picture of Max Morrison looking all chummy with Black Excellence. Is Max Morrison playing both sides? It looks like we're about to find out. Because on February 16th in Anarchy, 3-Hearted will team together against 3 members of Black Excellence in a 6-man tag team match. That concludes this edition of The Insider. Join us on Sunday, February 16th at Revel and Roll in Kalamazoo, Michigan as IPW presents Anarchy.